Hey guys and gals, Mike Cricket 113. Hope everybody's doing well. uh, Wanted to tell you, well, I told you guys I had a net the other night, last night, on our 2 meter local repeater, and it was fun. It was fun. We had a good check in. We had about 20 people that checked in, and we usually have a question. We usually have a question, and that's made by the net controller or whoever's taking the chair, as we say. And my question for the week, and I'll read it, was who is your first friend that you made in ham radio, and is that friendship still active? So that was the question I posed to the group last night, and we got a lot of great answers. And a lot of people had some memories about their first friends or their first mentors or Elmers, as they like to say in ham radio. And for those that don't know, an Elmer is the person that teaches you the ropes, shows you the ropes of amateur radio, gets you on the air, helps you build your station, and answers any questions or concerns, and becomes a friend. So a lot of good answers from the group. A lot of nice people out there. Everybody was great and jovial, and they said I did a good job for my first run. So there's that. So I was really excited about it. I told the gentleman that's usually in charge of scheduling that I want to continue hosting, so put me on the schedule. So I'll be doing that from now on in the future. So that will be great. I was trying to pump myself up. I was in here in the shack listening to music and getting excited, pumping myself up. Uh, but still, right before the preamble, like we have all these things we have to say about the machine and the repeater and the website and things like that. I still got those first little butterfly jitters right before. It's like making a public speaking thing when you're in school, when you have to do a speech in front of the classroom. I kind of had that little jitter, but as soon as I got done reading the script, I could say that all went away, and I could be me. And which was fun. So I hope the boys and girls didn't mind my personality. And from what I hear, I did a good job. But yeah, it was different. And I enjoyed it. So, like I said before, if you're in the radio community group, whether it be 11 meter, GMRS, MERS, ham radio, FRS radio, get involved. Whether it be net, participating in nets. There's a lot of great nets out there on the ham bands, not only on your local VHF or UHF repeaters. There's also nets on HF, and so for your technicians, I know you're kind of limited to for HF, you're limited to your 10-meter portion. But even in my area, every day around 1 o'clock, 1:30 Eastern Standard Time on 28.435, which is okay for technicians, sideband. There's what do they call it? The retired net every day, East Coast time, right? And so there's a net you can participate if propagation's good, and usually like 10 meters has been pretty good lately. So there's a net I know of that you guys can participate in. Anybody general or above class, there's loads of nets out there. There's more nets than I could even mention on this video. But on the HF bands, 20 meters, 40 meters, 80 meters, 160, there all sorts, all kinds. There's the YL net. The YL means young lady net. YL is young ladies like young girls to whatever age, I don't know, check in. But the only thing is there's more guys on there checking in than there are females, which is interesting. But there's the Maritime Mobile Net on 14300, and they take traffic around the country from land stations and also stations that are near bodies of water, stations that may be on a vessel out in the ocean or on a Great Lake or whatever. or bays or whatever. They take emergency traffic. They're on every day. Specific times, you can look them up. The Hurricane WatchNet also is on that frequency as well. When we had recent, last season's hurricane season around Florida and whatnot, in the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico, the Hurricane WatchNet was on air almost all day, all night. They go from net controller to net controller, and have time slots. They also do it on 40 meter, but I forget the frequency. They switch back and forth depending on the propagation, particularly. Usually 20 meter in the daytime, 40 meter at night, depending on propagation. So that's a really good one. Information net, people would call in from those areas asking for help or asking for assistance. And the rest of the amateur community would kind of help out with that. So that's a great one to look out for. And that's a service too. If you're monitoring those frequencies and somebody calls for help or assistance, if you're there listening, you can respond and try to get them the help they need. What else kind of nets there are there? There's work all states nets. Those are really fun. I usually catch them on 40 meter, somewhere around 7.188. And they're fun to listen to if you're a shortwave listener. People check in from all over, they get on the list, and when it's your turn, you're allowed to call out to whatever states or whatever stations you hear in states you haven't worked yet. So you can get them on your logbook and whatnot. So that's a fun net. I've heard Christian Brothers. I don't know if that's the right term, but it's like a Christian group where they read scripture and they talk about stuff. They talk about life and what's going on. It's really a good support group. I've caught them on 40 meters. Yeah, what else we got? We got the Antique Wireless Association nets on 75 and 80 meters. Those are really fun. Usually the boys are going in there on AM amplitude modulation, using boat anchor radios with the tubes and all the fun glowy tubes and everything. And they talk about that. And the Antique Wireless Association has a website, so you can check that out. What else do we got out there? There's loads of nets, and I don't even know all of them. These are just ones I stumble upon. I usually listen for people that have gumption and good net controllers that have a good personality, and check into those. Even if I'm just checking in, saying hi, this is where I'm from, yada yada. Hope everybody's doing well out there. And I don't stick around, at least check in, get on the logbook, you get checked in, you might get an email from them saying thanks for, visiting the net, blah, blah, blah. You can check us out at this time, this day. So it's good to take notes. I got to do that more. I just kind of remember on the big VFO dial where everybody is. So anyway, yeah, a 2 meter net was awesome. I really had a good time. I'm going to be definitely doing that in the future. And I look forward to it. Not to exclude 11 meter, and a little shout out to the Quad State Radio or CB Radio Club. We have kind of, I wouldn't call them nets, but they're every Thursday night on channel 16 lower sideband is sideband night. They're still doing that. Today being Friday, still? Yeah, we're still on Friday, okay. On my old, you can't see this, I gotta take it off. But on Friday nights on channel 24 FM, frequency modulation, we do Friday FM night around 8 o'clock. This is the old, let's see if we can find it here. Remember the old Casio watches? I know this is like backwards and upside down, but I still got one, right? Anyway, but yeah, we do Friday night FM night. And on channel 24, so that's fun. At least they're doing FM. That's all I care about, And everybody that can hear, we all talk to each other, whoever can be heard, And, you know, and we have our local channel 17 around here that we all talk on every day, morning, afternoon, and night. You know, some gentlemen are still working, some are retired, so there's always somebody on the air, and I love that. We have such a great community. The Quad State community is such a great community. Great group of people, guys and girls, and we're very fortunate, very fortunate. I know a lot of people with 11 meter, they get in the hobby, get a radio, get set up, put their antenna up, and it takes a while to find somebody out there that you like, you know, that you chat with every day or whatever. Some people don't have people to talk to. And I guess that's why we get into calling CQDX, you know, on the on AM and or sideband, and making contacts. And then sometimes that distant contact, whether it be in your same state or a couple states away, you might hear them again and again, and you know, build up a rapport and a friendship, you know, over the radio. And that's what this hobby's all about. That's what this hobby's all about. All forms of it. GMRS too. They have their nets as well. I don't particularly participate in them. I don't have much GMRS traffic around my area, but I know there are linked repeaters and throughout certain states. But I'm just not close enough to those repeaters, so I don't really mess around with them. But they have nets as well. MERS, 2-watt radio. I don't know. I do hear some MERS traffic out there. Usually just family using them around campsites and things like that, or locally. And then sometimes businesses still use MERS frequencies. So yeah, I don't really hear too much on MERS, but there is some activity out there in my area. So this is just a recap. I realize we're at the 12-minute mark here. If anybody's still sticking around, tell me you're sticking around. I hope the weekend's good for you all. And keep playing with those radios, 7.3. And thank you very much for listening to me ramble on. 7.3, take care. This is My Cricket 113, and we're gone.